Hello and welcome back to Hollowponds Solo Sagas. So today we are going to play Across 1,000 Dead Worlds. We will be doing episode 5. Episode 5 of Mark, who has explored a couple of places. I did the combat completely wrong. Well, not completely wrong, but mostly wrong last session. There were some key mistakes I made. For instance, when the enemy got downed, I've been making this continually. The enemy rolls on disadvantage from that point onwards, so everything they roll is 2d20, take the lowest, so it slightly made it harder. Also, Mark should have had the opponent roll for their evasion to actually shoot them, so roll against an evade, but again at disadvantage, not auto hit. And so all of those things were raised by our fantastic Adventurers Guild member who pointed those things out. And so hopefully we will not have those problems again as Mark continues to explore perilous. What is it? It's perilous, then some numbers, isn't it? Of course, silly me, it's perilous 456177. The bioresearch and containment facility on a moss-covered jungle-like planet that's deathly quiet. We have had our one ambush, so I don't know whether we should have taken out the known entity that we took out, but we did, and so it is what it is. We are back in this room, panting as that combat had taken place. We are one tick in. We've probably consumed another 10 minutes, and we will now be attempting to go through this doorway here to find out what's in the next bit. Now, I don't know if you forgot, but every one of the doors in this place is in lockdown, so it means it's a technology roll or a hacking attempt to try and get the door open. So first off, our lovely Mark needs to try and make a technology roll to get that open. Mark has a 10 for technology. He has no devices that are going to help him with technology boosts. And he is going to attempt to open the door. So he will roll a d20 plus 10. He needs to get 20 or more, which he doesn't. He gets a 13, so that fails, which means that consumes 10 minutes as he attempts to fiddle with wires and cables and get this door open. Even that I'm not too sure about. And so instead we roll 2d10 as he attempts to then get the lockpick small tool out of his pocket. That gives us, oh man, so a 1 and a 7. So then what we do is we need to try and guess, otherwise this door is locked to us and I don't know what we do then. We roll another d10 and we need to guess whether it falls within that, i.e. it's a 1 to 7, or outside that, 8, 9, 10. We will say it's in that. 3, yay, which means that another 10 minutes gets consumed, but the door opens. The door opens in this area here. And then we need to work out what it is on the other side of that door. Area connector, I'll roll a d20. A 4 is a simple hallway. 20% chance of an ambush, but we've had our ambush, so it won't bother rolling. So there is a simple hallway in here. And then we need to work out what's on the other end. So let's do, one of the things we don't know is if there's any doors in this hallway. Let's just say it's just like the other side. It's a hallway that leads forwards towards one area. Now we don't know what there is past here because there was that big worm there, that what was it, overwhelming big worm thing. So let's imagine that it's a mirroring site. We've also got a door over here, a corridor over here, and there's one over here. So if we can't go further, we can come back this way and see if there's other ways to go. We will continue down this way. We're going to imagine it ends in a doorway and then there's another thing on the other side. So it's a short hallway. Maybe we can see outside. There's a plastic dome over the top of it. We can see outside, which is jungle plants that overrun. There's strange moss everywhere. We're trying to make sure that we are keeping our face mask on because the atmosphere isn't good. And at the end, we reach another door and we will try and hack the door. Let's try a different d20. We need 10 plus 5, 15, it fails. So now we have to try and, so that's one 10-minute slot. Try and get the door open. We've got, oh, that's harder. A 4 and a 7. So is it gonna fall within a 4 and 7 or outside? This is almost 50, it's a 50, isn't it? 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, so it's more chance it's outside. So we're gonna say this is outside. 2, yes. And that goes open. End of an hour, which means that we did get into a gunfight, so we consumed ammo. We consumed 1 oxygen tablet, 1 battery. We aren't injured, are we? No, we are not. And then we're at the beginning of the first one where we would roll. Is it ambush? Isn't ambush the same? No, ambush is different, isn't it? Ambush is just an ambush, which is an enemy ambushes us. Hold on, so we should have rolled that ambush, which is, there was 20% in the hallway. So as we're doing the doorway, we are ambushed. So that's 08. So there was a 20% chance in the hallway here that we are ambushed. As we start doing that door, we are ambushed, which means that it gets a +5 on its initiative roll because it's ambushed us. And we roll to see if it's an enemy. So an enemy turns up, which means that we roll a D8 on our what is the enemy table. It's a 6, which we haven't discovered before, so it's a brand new enemy. So we will stay together for a bit longer, and I will roll this enemy. So this is brand new, so we roll, we won't do we could do what the type of encounter is. We'll do the encounter now at the same time. So we roll a D20, 3, it's easy. So it's an easy encounter. An easy encounter with 1 person means it's 1 easy monster. Come, join me whilst we generate this monster together. What do we need? We need this table, this piece of paper here. So, I don't know if you remember us doing this before, but we have done this before, but let's do this again in case you've forgotten, and I have learnt more things whilst we go. First off, we work out, are we off planet or on planet surface? We're on the planet surface, so we roll a d6. This we work out if it's a guardian, an aberration, or local fauna. 3 is an aberration. So we, on our little sheet, which all these sheets come free to download, we write aberration. Now the downside of an aberration is as soon as Mark sees the aberration, Mark will take stress because an aberration basically looks disgusting and bizarre. Facing aberration always causes 5 stress. So I'm going to write that at the top because I often forget. Well, then once we've done its name, we will put it in the number 6 slot. So as whenever we roll a 6 again, then we have already got the one decided. Aberration, it's so creatures that are just too strange and mind-bending to be considered fauna. Many suspect they're the result of Asahi, great lager, experimentation or something worse. Do you know Asahi, the lager, is incredibly low in calories. We call it a diet drink. Next we will roll its size, so its relative size, which is a d20. 4 is, it's a large dog to a wildcat size, so it's -1 damage. Now why is it in this area? It is 1 territorial control. We got the door open though, didn't we? I rolled and we got the door open. Did I roll and we got the door open? Yeah, I'm gonna say we got the door open, so if this starts to get bad, we'll leg it. We won't define its intelligence, we don't bother. Now we've got these standard sort of profiles. We'll use the easy profile because this is an easy version. At the moment its damage is a d10 plus 4. What do we do next? We define what its main role is. So what the role of this is, which is a d10, which it could be a brute, a lurker, ranged, swarm or psychic. It's a 7, which makes it ranged. So it'd probably appear down the end of the corridor and we would attempt to shoot us. So we've got its combat behaviours, but because it's ranged, it means it favours ranged attacks over melee attacks. It has -1 strength. Where's the eraser gone? There we go. It has +1 dex. It has a -1 to its con and a +1 to its will. They're still low because it was an easy one. +1 to hit location rolls. Oh, I always forget to do hit location. +2 to ranged attack skill. -2 to melee attack skill. It has a +2 awareness, so its awareness goes to 7. And then it has some specific combat behaviours that I don't have my bookmark. Next, we will say what, next it has a unique trait, D10. 2, +1 defense, -1 armor. So it's already got 0 armor, but it's got +1 defense, which means it's harder to hit. 1 harder to hit rather than it takes less damage. And what is its special ability? So it has 1 special ability, which is 19 uncanny speed. For 1 turn after activating this ability, the creature is completely immune to ranged attacks. Now also what it appears like. So its general appearance is 15. Its general appearance apparently is glyrine, which I just had to look up because a lot of the words that Alex chooses to use in this book, I have no idea what the meanings are. But apparently it means it's of the family of animals that are small, rodent-like, and that hibernate for long periods of time. So it's a small, bushy, I don't know, what were they called? Groundhog Day, one of them. I'm going to say its general appearance is bushy because I don't know, I'm going to have to Google it again. The creature is covered with D8. It's not covered with D8s, it's covered with 2 feathers. Its unique feature, D10. 4 several mouths. That's probably why it's an aberration. Got many mouths covered in feathers. It's got 3, it's a quadruped. It's not, say it's terrestrial. 2, a D10 and a D6. D10 is its forelimbs. Its forelimbs are the same as its hind limbs, and its hind limbs are, so it's tentacled. Okay, this, no wonder this looks weird. Mouth, it's got many of them. Eyes, we won't bother doing. What is it called? D10 gives us how many syllables? It's 6, which is 2 syllables. So we do a D100. First syllable is 11, and the second one is 70. 11 is A-I-N, and 70 is Lee, L-I. And A-I-N, Ainley? Ainley. It's an Ainley. It's an A-I-N-L-I. It's an aberration, and it is ranged. So we have a ranged aberration that appears down the end of that corridor behind Mark as Mark gets the door open. The door is just about to slide open, and there's this thump noise, and then Mark will turn around. He will hit 7 stress because it just looks disgusting. We will do an initiative between the 2 of them, which is a D10 each. That can be it. This can be Mark. It gets +5 because it's surprising us. So it gets a 9, we get a 6. It goes first. We will use our standard thing here. I'll arrange that. That was last time. So this isn't in room 4, but it's in the corridor just outside room 4. So first off, we will have Mark is there. The Ainley is here. The cover is in number 3. So there's loads of boxes at this part of the corridor. So this is the corridor. Here's the end door. Here's where the Ainley is dropped from the ceiling because it was hidden, all its feathers, maybe it goes invisible, but it's dropped, and then it's got a ranged attack which it could use to attack us. It surprises us. It goes first. We will use the combat behaviors. I'll try and remember how it all works. We roll a D10. It got a 7. A 7 is maneuver, either to change targets, roll on the target table, page 59, to avoid being surrounded, or to leverage the terrain or situation. Right, so it'll move forward into cover, and I guess that's its turn because it doesn't say attack, it just says it maneuvers. So it is going to use its turn to move into cover here. This is round 1. Mark is now knows that it's there. Mark's got his rifle. His rifle has a range of 2. Where is Mark? Here it is. Mark has range combat of 10. It's in cover, which means it's 5 harder to hit, but it needs to roll its dex, isn't it? It rolls its dex for us not to hit it. Initiative we have done. So we've got 10 stamina. We are going to burn 8 stamina in attacking it with a heavy attack. We will save 2 stamina to make it harder for us to hit it. We haven't got combat stamina. We've got range combat, which is the attacker rolls the attack while the target tests dex. If the attacker rolls higher, they score a hit. Targeting an enemy, no, no, it's not. So we have, then we're going to do a hit location. So we attempt to shoot it. It's got a dex of, it has a dex of 5, but it has a defense of 1. So technically it has a defensive dex of 6. It's in a good spot, so it has +5, so it has a dex of 11. So it rolls an 11 plus a d20. We are going to roll a d20 plus 10. It's orange. So it's got 11 plus 4 is 15. We've got 10 plus 8 is 18. We shoot it with our heavy hit. So we hit it. Our thing does, so it's heavy, so we get a d6 plus a d10, which is our base, and it does 5 damage. So 5, 10, and 18. So we shoot it. Its con is 7, which means it just sticks its, there's loads of boxes and crates that we've passed through to get here. It stuck its head up, we've clipped it in one of its disgusting mouths, and it is flipped over and gone down. That is round 1. We didn't maneuver, we've stayed where we are, and we have shot it. Now, we can then try and maneuver and shoot it again, but it is in a good area. But if we're close to it, then actually close to it, instead of it taking a +5, it would only take a +2. So we could try and maneuver closer to it on our turn. Its turn. It is going to attempt to stand up. Now, based on what I have been told and what I have read, it rolls at disadvantage once it has been knocked down. Oh, hit location. I forgot again, it's a quadruped. So we roll a d10, an 8, and 8 is the body, which is +2 damage. Doesn't make any difference because we damaged it anyway. Right, so it says if they get knocked down, they roll a recovery check on their turn as normal. If successful, they can act but have disadvantage to all rolls for the rest of the combat. If unsuccessful, they remain knocked down and as such cannot attack, perform all defensive rolls with disadvantage until they succeed at a recovery check. If they are dodging with disadvantage, I am going to give them disadvantage. We might as well, if they have disadvantage for the rest of the combat, basically it means as soon as they got knocked down, they have disadvantage. It has disadvantage. Its turn, round 2. Round 2. It attempts to stand up. It's got disadvantage. Poor little sausage. Lowest of these two. Lowest of these two is an 8. An 8 plus its con of 7 is a 15. It does not stand up. It's still on the ground. It has disadvantage from now on. Mark is going to maneuver forwards 1 square because he can move 1. Now it still is in the cover of those boxes rolling around on the floor, so Mark is finding it hard to hit it. So it has a dex of 5. It has 5 for the cover. It has a defense of 1. It has an 11. So it is at disadvantage. So actually, let's roll these two. So the lowest of these two plus 11, which is an 18. So it gets an 18. We attempt to shoot it. We get plus 10. We get 21. We shoot it again. It's on the ground. We shoot it. You hit it. We go D10, D6. It still has a con of 7. We do 16 points of damage. 16 points of damage beats its con of 7, which means it takes another point of damage, which means it's wounded. It's only got one wound. It goes to 0 wounds. And Lee pops, which is awesome. So we defeat it. That's pretty cool. Okay, it was easy. It wasn't even a hard target whatsoever. We beat it, but it does mean that we get 1 extra encounter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've done 6 encounters so far. So we got that door open as it came down. I don't think there's anything that we get from this apart from that being an encounter and we didn't die. So that was on that. So will I count? We already consumed ammunition for that one, but technically we're in between rounds, but we'll go 10 minutes because that was the fight. So we're in the next hour. We're halfway through the 10 hours that we have here. So we've got that door open. We will kick the thing to the side, bash it a bit, make sure it's dead. It is dead, and then we'll register in the book that we have a new type of breed of animal that we've discovered for this location. Moving on, areas. We then will see what is on the other side of that door as we open it, which is a D10. A 9, a fixed event. Okay, I think we had a fixed event, so we get another fixed event. Okay, fixed event, D20. If we've already done it and we remember it, we'll do another one. Natural 20, oh, that's not going to be good, is it? Okay, so it is a room. How many it will say, and then I'll read it to you. D2, I was going to say, so that's one exit on the other side of this room. The door's locked. Okay, so we've got, I'm going to have to look up radiation, because basically in the middle of this room is a ultra bright thing sitting in the middle of this room. I'm going to need to label it. It's radiation. Rads. Okay, we take a D100 times 3 rads for being in this room. All right, this might kill us by the time we get back, but Mark doesn't know. We'd have to have special treatment. Oh man alive, really? 82 times 3. 82 times 3 rads. All right, give us a second, I'm going to look up radiation. All right, what's 82 times 3? Let's see if I can do it in my head. What is it? So 8, 16, 24, 82, so 8, 24, 246. So we've got 246 rads, basically. Where should we write this? Here we go. 246, did I say? 246 rads. On this chart, 246, headache and vomiting, 1 wound. All right, so we take 1 wound, we've got headache and vomiting. Okay, now let me read how do we treat this? Do you know what I reckon? So this basically, we're going to have to get, if we can get the door open with a tech roll, we won't take any more. But if we have to consume another tick, then we can only say that we consume more radiation, which could kill us, basically. What have we got? A detail on the chart below. So it says a cumulative effects. I reckon that is going to be after we've been treated. So this is the direct effect, which is that we feel sick and we've got a headache from being here. Then we're going to have to go back and get treated. All right, so we have to go back and get treated. Basically, we start to feel really, really bad as we get that effect. Okay, we're going to need to try and get the far. So what I reckon is, so if we're here and this has got the burning sun in the middle of it, and this is the one rad, we've got to get this door open. And then that means we're going to have to try and come back around this way, which means we're going to have to try and fight that big worm or find another way out, like that exit. We've got an exit over here and the way in is over there. And we're exploring this wing. There's another wing over there. This isn't good. We basically, once we've got through, we're not going to want to come back this way. I don't think the med kit is going to have anti-radiation meds in it. It just makes no sense to have that. And so we are going to try and get that door open. So what was that? So that's room 6. Room 6 is a fixed event, sun, radiation, D100 times 3 rads. So if we come back in, that's what we're going to take. So we're going to try and get this door open. Getting the door open, we've got D10 plus 10. We cannot get that door open that way. Which means, oh man, does that mean we get that? Does that means we take? Oh no, that's 80 again. Oh man, if I do that, Mark dies of radiation sickness, which seems a sad loss. If he can get the door open on this, otherwise he's done for, and we're gonna have to stagger back and try and get back. So we'll go. This is again trying to getting the door open. We've got a 10 and an 8. So I'm going to say it's outside of this. Mark is going to try and make it outside of this. A 2 is outside of that. The door at the far end opens. He can take half. So D100 times 3 halved rads is what he'll take. He takes 35 times 3. What's that? That's 70. That's 105. Call it 100. That's 50. Puts him to 296. 296 is not good, because it says here if you get, what was it say? It sounds like if you get over 300 in one burst, you are not a happy bunny. So 300, what's it go? Exposure to 300 reds at once would reduce strength and con by 1 and inflict 1 wound and give -2 to all action. So he's already took 1 wound and he's vomiting and he's unwell, and he comes out the other side. Oh man, this is all he needs. So this door is opened. What is on the other side of that door? Connector, D20. 14, grand wide corridor. So there's a wide corridor here. The door closes behind him. There is a 20% chance of an ambush. 83. He slides back against the door, slides down behind the door as he's standing there. We will say one was trying to, that was the extra rads in trying to get through. So he's standing in this corridor here. He's quiet. I think this is where he can attempt to do a med check to try and heal himself. He does have medical aid, so I think he can heal himself using medical aid. Okay, he can attempt to do a med check. If it passes, then he can remove one wound and he'll consume one, it will remove one wound, it will advance the time track by 1 tick, and it consumes 1 medical supply. So he's going to attempt to treat himself. So it definitely consumes 1 tick. It definitely consumes 1 medical aid. He's got a 10 for medicine. A 10 plus 12 is 22. It heals the wound. And we'll say he's not got a headache and he's not vomiting anymore, because he'll take anti-nausea. There'll definitely be anti-nausea stuff, and there'll be analgesics, so he's relieves the headache, and that takes the time goes, but he does still have 296 rads. He's going to have to treat the 296 rads when he gets back to Kramer Station. That was quite stressful. That is quite stressful. Strictly speaking, he should have had an excess there. He would have ticked over. That's not very good. All right, so moving on. We are that was room 6. We do not want to go back there. We're not going to be able to get a radiation suit. So he's in this hallway. That was a hallway, wasn't it? Grand wide hallway. There's weird sort of chairs on either side. There's these strange sort of organic-y looking statues. Mark, I think it'd be reasonable to say he will spend another 10 minutes trying to gather himself, because that was blindingly bright and dangerous. And now he realizes he has going to have to go back through there to get out, or try and find another way out. I mean, there is an exit here if you can try and find a way around here, or you can try and get through the wall or find an outside way to come through. There are clearly ways out that we can bypass, but we've basically got 5 hours, and that's not great. So he will go to the end of the corridor, and he is going to attempt to get that door at the end opened, which he fails to do. Time tick. I mean, if this doesn't work, then he is stuffed, because there's nothing else to do. Okay, that means he's going to have to go back through that room. This is to lockpick it. Okay, so we've got a 5 and 7. Well, obviously we're going to have to choose that it's outside of that. 10, yes, thank goodness for that. So that door slides open, consuming another tick, which consumes, he did have a fight in that one, and a 1 and a 1. We come through to that bit there. There's no more top of the turn known entities, because we've had that. So now it's what is on the other side of this area, which is a D10, a 3, resources. Okay, so we come into a room with D3 exits, with 3 exits. So there's a square room with 3 exits. 1, 2, 3 exits to it. So square room, 3 exits. If this starts to track around, we'll join it up. If this comes around a lot more this way, we'll join it up, and this one, we'll see what happens at the end of it. We have, let's do some descriptors for this room. Where are we? We've got action theme. Let's go for action theme. We haven't used action theme. Action 59, 59. We've got betrayal. Doesn't really work, does it? 54, 54. We have ally. Neither of those work. Okay. Situation verbs. Let's go verby. 70. 70 is frustrate, doesn't really work. 53, I want to know what this room's like. Enlighten, okay, enlighten works. We will take enlighten, and we want some form of medical research. We'll take the medical research, so we've got enlighten, and 9. Infestation. Okay, all right. Enlighten and infestation. So enlighten. So this room is full of resources, and it's a room. So resources are also data. So we are going to say that this is room 7, and room 7 looks like some form of, so we'll go resources. Looks like a library, but it's been infested with moss and some organic nests, organic crystalline nests. I mean, if we get a nice bumper load of resources, this might be in Mark's best interest to go back, cash in, and get some radiation treatment. So we will go. We need both these because we need to cross resources off of Pyloth. So data crystals. How do we work out how many resources? We get D10 data crystals. Big number, please. 7. 7's all right. So we get 7 data crystals. That fills up all his pockets. 7 data crystals. Data crystals, 7 so far. And we get 6 alloy cubes. These are the ones that are worth 75 each. 6 of these. We get 4 alloy cubes, so 4 cubes. So that gives us 4 cubes, which is an 11 total on resources, which gives us 3 resources left to find on this site. We have 3 resources left to find on site, and a lot of artifacts. We found 1 artifact so far. All right, so Mark has found some resources. Nice. We are here, and we have 3 exits to this room. How long have we been going for? Probably this is about half hour. All right, so we're at the top of the clock. We have ticked everything off. We can move on if we wish to. He's feeling sickly. We found resources. I'm inclined to stop the session there because it can only go downhill from there, can't it? So we will. We will leave Mark at that point, feeling very poorly, very, very sorry for himself, but at least cheerful that there's this room, there are other exits, there's still ways to go forward, but he cannot go back. If he goes back down that corridor and into where that sun was, he's feeling really not well. He's shaky on his feet. He feels like he's done an all-day leg session and his legs are wobbly. His pockets are full to capacity. He has some space left in his backpack, but not a lot. Although he is on half his consumption of oxygen and batteries, which means that those gear slots might empty out soon as well. He can attempt to drop some stuff to move forwards, but he's well equipped and he's going to need to make a decision about what he does next. I don't know what he's going to do next. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this briefish session of Across the Thousand Dead Worlds. It is really good. If you can get a hold of the book, I don't know how difficult it is for you to get hold of it where you are, but Alex T's website, which is Blackoath Entertainment, I think the link is in the description. You can get a physical copy or you can get it on PDF. It is really, really good. Have a go at playing. It's quite cool. Alex's games, I have played Broken Shore and I've looked at a few of the others. Are quite deadly. He's actually, I haven't printed it out to play it, but he has a new one that he sent me very kindly. I think because I played this, and I'm going to give that a go and have a look at that. That is more of, it's still an explorer. Most of his games are very much exploration. They're really good for that. This is post-apocalyptic, and I'm quite one for post-apocalyptic settings. So my brief read, it sounds really good. I'll tell you about it next session. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much for being a subscriber. If you are new to the channel, why don't you hit the subscription? It helps the channel grow. It helps us push ourselves out to other people. And my stories, then I feel at least, it's that ego boost, isn't it? It's all for the dopamine. Thank you so much to the Adventurers Guild. I very, very much appreciate your financial support. It's tough times all round, and so I really do appreciate you spending your money on supporting me and being my patrons, basically. It's very much appreciated. If you wish to join the Adventurers Guild, I will stick a link probably over there. I haven't done that in a while, but I'll stick a link over there. You get early access to the videos. There are some behind the scenes stuff. I'm at the moment writing a Lancer GME, and so the videos for me doing test combats and testing how things work are all going behind there. There's series 2 of The Walking Dead, a prequel for the Forbidden Lands, and there'll be more stuff going in over there. If you'd like to join, I'd be much appreciated. Beyond that, I will see you next week for more Across 1,000 Dead Worlds, and we will see if Mark can get out of this alive and not turned into some sort of very toasted corpse in the middle of a wasted Asahi Institute. See ya.